But the breeze tastes the spice and the gamble feels right when your heart's set on freedom's bite. Raise a toast, stake your claim, let the world know your name on another Caribbean night. I sail from a cove where the warm trade winds blow and the silver blue dolphins glide, where the rum's always strong and the nights run long and the tide is a thief at your side. When the moon's riding high and the lanterns are low and the waves start to shimmer bright, come aboard, cast away, let the sea have its say on another Caribbean night. Caribbean nights, like Caribbean days, more often than not, they're wilder than not, in the boldest of ways. Caribbean nights, neath Caribbean stars. Oh, rogue with a grin, could win or give in, out there past the bars. Shore keep a whispering lore of the captains who never came home, and the gulls overhead cry of treasure and dread where the reefs hide a kingdom of bone. But the breeze tastes the spice and the gamble feels right when your heart's set on freedom's bite. Raise a toast, stake your claim, let the world know your name on another Caribbean night. Caribbean nights. Caribbean nights. Sail from a cove where the warm trade winds blow and the silver blue dolphins glide, where the rum's always strong and the nights run long and the tide is a thief at your side. When the moon's riding high and the lanterns are low and the waves start to shimmer bright, come aboard, cast away, let the sea have its say on another Caribbean night. Caribbean nights, like Caribbean days, more often than not, they're wilder than not, in the boldest of ways. Caribbean nights, neath Caribbean stars. Oh, rogue with a grin, could win or give in, out there past the bars. Shore keep a whispering lore of the captains who never stake your claim. Let the world know your name on another Caribbean night. Caribbean nights. Caribbean nights.
When I started this project, I didn't realize how much of an undertaking it would really be. It's been a learning process, to say the least, but we're almost ready for launch. My team and I wanted to make sure that all of our ducks were in a row before we really got started. All of that said, the Discord is officially live, and I will begin sending out invites via the GoFundMe page messaging system. If you're one of the amazing people who donated to the pre-launch GoFundMe campaign, which is still up, by the way, you'll get a private message from me over the course of the next few days. The GoFundMe is still accepting contributions. Meanwhile, our art director Thatch and I are finalizing the layout of the Kickstarter page, reward tiers, and stretch goals so we can finish what's needed to launch the official Kickstarter. And remember, if you donate to the GoFundMe page, you get your name on a special thank you page in the book, as well as access to the Discord to help us build it. Thank you all very much for your donations, encouragement, and kind words. We're gonna make something awesome.
And while Chaz, the Bard Father, makes something awesome over there with Man Shorts and the Florida Man TTRPG, we will be hanging out May 22nd through the 24th, Labor Day weekend, in Camp Barnhart, North Carolina, New London, North Carolina, that is, at the Norseforged Gathering 6, where everything under the sun is going to happen. And what do I mean by everything under the sun? I mean community. I mean other worlds, kids activities, quests for all, nightlife. We're going to have a nerd prom. We're going to have sanctioned full armored combat bouts, 1-on-1, 1v1 kind of thing stuff. Musical guests. Let's see. What else are they going to have there? Content creators from around the world. It's going to be fun. Tickets are on sale now. Get them while they last. They are going fast. Oh. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for our 44th episode. We've made it. We've made it 44. 6 more and we'll be halfway to what Bard Advice did. Woohoo! I want to take this time to welcome everybody in. This is Rogue Bard Advice. We are a D&D TTRPG, sports, archaeology, everything nerdcast. You guys send me questions. I try my best to answer them on here with your all's help in the chat. Speaking of the chat, I see we have Puffy Cheeto, Kirk Wagner, Ron, Ruby, Jim, welcome in. I know Teeny is going to be in sometime. I hope the Pirate Witch wife is going to be in sometime. But yes, thank you for the big hellos. Thank you for your big hellos. And I did some things. If you guys noticed the opening, I enhanced the pirate flag to show the details that have been lost in the pirate flag that I had there, and they weren't showing up very well. So I enhanced it. I hope you guys like it. I know you guys are liking the new pirate theme song. So just little tweaks we could do to make things go nicer for the podcast. With that being said, tonight's podcast is going to be not going to go an hour and a half. I'm going to try to go an hour and a half because, as we will find out later in the podcast, I have something to do tomorrow. Yikes, week I just realized I never sent in a question. Maybe I still had 1 or 2 in the queue. Unfortunately, Kirk, you did not have any in the queue. So you did not put a question in the queue. Tonight's questions both come from our good friend, our very good friend, and honorary Council of Chris member, Puffy Cheeto. There's only two tonight. I have plenty of Puffy Cheeto questions, but I only chose two because tonight's going to be a little different. I already gave you guys one surprise. A second surprise is coming up. And then after second surprise, immediately after second surprise, comes third surprise. Unless you guys want third surprise. Well, no, because third surprise long. Third surprise is long. Yay for the defense and depth on the questions. Thanks, Puffy Cheeto. Woohoo! Yes. Well, Puffy Cheeto's questions are actually very easy tonight and very simple-ish. Ron hasn't queued in a while. Should try and think of a stumper. You should, Ron. You absolutely should. You absolutely should. Maybe a geography question. Like, where is Denmark? And where is Greenland? Oh, I just absolutely love this week. Oh, this week in everything. Let me tell you. So, in my place of work, we have gone to the extreme. What we have, when we're hired in my job, well, not necessarily my job, but who I work for, we are hired under what's known as not to exceed contracts. We have 2-year and 4-year not to exceed contracts with the possibilities of extensions of up to 4 years, and they're indefinite extensions. They could just go on forever. It's just the contract is not to exceed X. Well, my organization wants to eliminate anywhere between 8 and 11,000 individuals from the federal workforce this year by not extending them when they get to their NTEs. I lost my supervisor of record this past week. I lost a historic archaeologist for my job this week. We lost a HSSP historian, historic preservation specialist historian this week. We will be losing quite a few people this year. My NTE date, however, is not until March of next year. So I am good for another year. And hopefully by this time, well, by my birthday, things will have changed and simmered down and calmed down, and people will be extended some more and everything else. But yes, my job is safe for now. But if it's not, the pirate archaeologist has plans. Some good, some great, some off the wall. And I'm not ready to announce the off the wall just yet. But if things go sideways next year, I have a plan already in place to build and everything. But I might be starting my own archaeology firm. Not like the guy's ever broken a contract before. Yeah, did you delete that? Because I saw that and I was like, okay, leave it there. I don't care. A rogue pirate must always have a crazy plan in the back pocket. You know, the crazy plan. Well, okay, you know what? Here. We won't we won't discuss it outside of the fact that I have for the last 2 decades, and more specifically the last decade, have built a campaign plan to run for public office of some sort. That's it. That's all we're saying. So, with that being said, you know what? Let's go with everybody else's good things for the weeks, because I don't know that we're going to have time at the end of the show to get through them. And I want to burn as much time off the front half so we have plenty of time on the back half. All right. So let's go. Puffy Cheeto, you're up. What's your good thing for the week? Ron, Ruby, your good things for the weeks are coming up too. So have them in the chute. And Kirk. Oh, and speaking of, we're sending out our well wishes to Yokai Lover. She's sleeping. She needs to nap and rest. Kirk's good thing of the week. This week is over. Enough said. Enough said. Ron's good thing of the week. You made a half dozen times 10 yesterday. Made it a half dozen times 10. So you made it 60 yesterday. Was yesterday your birthday, Ron? If yesterday was your birthday, congratulations. Happy freaking birthday. Let's give it up for the graybeard. Woohoo! Congratulations, Ron. 60 times around the earth. Or, well, not around the earth, but around the sun. Tristan Fox. Welcome in, Fox. Everybody, I want... So we're going to go to surprise 2 right now. Okay? Because it has everything to do with the man that just came into the chat. Military Fox. And if you don't follow him here on YouTube, follow him on Twitch. As a matter of fact, you'll get his Twitch account. Now.
So I've been planning a game for many years, creating my own world from the theology up, theology down. Anyway, I've been trying to get a game together. I've managed to get 5 players, 5 people that are going to be interesting to play with, but every time I get things rolling, my body tries to kill me. Yeah.
If your body didn't try to kill you, then other people would try to kill you.
Regional Medical Center. So our first game was supposed to be this Saturday.
It better be this Saturday.
This Saturday, I'm
Don't you dare
try and power through.
Good.
And we're going to. I want to do a test run.
No test run.
My internet capabilities and see if I can get things sorted on the stream.
If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball.
Yeah. I've got a D&D game that I'm going to run for 5 individuals. I'll have them tagged here somewhere. I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually really excited. I've had to make a few adjustments because of heart problems. Anytime I get sick, my heart decides to go, fuck you.
Well, you know, there's a solution to that.
I'm looking forward to playing this game. I'm looking forward to running this game because I'm actually the DM and I'm terrible at advertising.
Well, this is your advertisement.
So the 17th is going to be our introduction to characters and basic information about the stream. I don't think we're actually going to get too far into a session, but it's going to be introduction
Oh,
characters.
I don't
and
think
things like
I
that.
don't think
And
you
I'm
are. I think
genuinely
you're
hoping
underestimating
that,
your players.
That we can draw enough interest to help out some of the people playing, because yeah, we all need a little bit of help.
Some of us need
So-
more than others, and some of us are qualified for the help.
Looking forward to seeing you on Saturday at 12:30 Central Time. I think that's everything. Is that everything? Diesel.
No,
Everything?
what's your
Yeah.
handle?
I think it's everything. All right. See you there. At this
Thank you.
tag with these people.
Yes, those people
playing.
over there in the corner. At those
Andy.
times up there in the other corner.
Goodbye. Hello.
And that was the announcement. And that was the announcement that Fox put out over on TikTok. And yeah, Fox, I stole it and I cut and pasted it and everything else. But that's because you said it yourself. You sucked at advertising. And I have a platform where I can put it on and advertise it. Now it doesn't see but like 36 people, but at least it's out there. Now there's stuff going on in the chat. Your good thing of the week is you're still alive, and you better still be alive tomorrow. You've got less than 12 hours to get started. 2014 rules still not completely caught up on 2024. Well, guess what? I don't know any of the 24 rules because the last games I played was 3.5. So it's going to be new for me too. Jim, it was first time going, and I was just happy they gave us 2 free drink tickets. Where did you go? Where did you go? Oh, Top Golf? Okay. You do suck at advertising. You ain't mad. I know you're not mad. I know you're not mad. Aggressively helpful piracy. Look. This chat is the new Pirate Bay. It's the new Pirate Bay. If we get a break in my kids' wrestling meet that day, I'll try to join Twitch and watch y'all. Well, if not, I think it'll be recorded. So, by the way, I saw Kevin walk in. Thank you for joining, Kevin. Welcome back in. You're never late. You're a wizard. You're only here exactly when you're mean to be. So, with that being said, that was the announcement. That was surprise number 2. I am happy to be a part of a D&D campaign with Archeo Wolf, with Catherine, with Calm Down, and with Popo Blanco. And if you follow Popo Blanco on Twitter, if you have Twitter, he is Papa Popo on Twitter, or Papa Popo Plays on Twitch. And Calm Down is No Panic Button on Twitch or on Twitter, or did he change it to Calm Down? I don't know, but it's very good people, very funny people. They're just absolute great group of people. So, and I thank Fox for showing up tonight. But with that being said, we're going to go to the first question because it's 24 minutes in. So the first question, coming from Puffy Cheeto, is what kind of tattoo would each D&D class get, and where on their body would they get it? I just want to say, ouch. I had a new tattoo done back in November for my birthday. Welcome in, Teeny. You just missed the announcement. You missed the announcement that you've been waiting on. But back to tattoos and what kind of tattoos and where. Let's go down the list alphabetically. A barbarian. A barbarian would get a roaring beast skull or tribal mark across the shoulder and upper arm. kind of like Kratos, across the shoulder, upper arm kind of thing. A bard. A bard would get flowing musical script or a stylized instrument on their forearm. A cleric. Their deity's holy symbol in geometric symmetry. Right center on their chest. Right there. The druid would go back to the early 1990s and get vines, antlers, or a crescent moon wrapping on their bicep. Their tribal freaking whatever, or barbed wire or something of the early 90s. Yes, I found the legendary city of Cibola, and I won't share any of the gold with anybody. Right? If you know that's wrong. I would share the gold. I would share 1/10 of the gold. As a bard, Puffy Cheetah would get a unicorn wearing a rubber ducky ring floaty in a bubble bathtub while holding a tiny rubber ducky unicorn, and it would definitely be a tramp stamp location. Just let me ask you a question. Is it a unicorn wearing a rubber ducky ring, or is it Ernie in the bathtub wearing a unicorn onesie wearing a rubber ducky ring? Bard tattoo equals your name on his. Exactly. Back to the tattoos and the classes. A fighter would get crossed weapons on a shield crest on their back of shoulder. So where I got my Unicron tattoo, the tattoo I showed off earlier, not earlier today, but last year, it would be the same crossed weapons or a shield crest right there for a fighter. A monk would get a single circle, mantra, or brushstroke on the inner forearm. So easy. A paladin would get a radiant sword or winged emblem over their heart. Makes sense. Definitely a unicorn wearing the rubber ducky. So, not Ernie? Okay. A ranger would get an animal companion or tracking rune on the outer forearm. The rogue. Now, this one's actually not bad. I like this one. A hidden dagger or a playing card tattooed, tucked on the rib cage. I like that one. Always hidden something. The sorcerer would get an arcane or a swirling arcane sigil on their spine. So just those Japanese letters on the spine. A warlock would get their patron's mark on the back of their neck. And a wizard would get a spell diagram or arcane constellation on their upper back. Now, I have an issue with this. I think there's actually two things that a wizard would do. Because if I'm not mistaken, sorcerers are magic users with innate abilities. They don't have to prepare their spells. They don't have to have a spell book. Wizards, on the other hand, has to have a spell book. So why not tattoo your spells on your body? Use every single inch of your body as your spell book. That way you'd never be without it. So, for now, those are the classes. Those are the tattoos. Those are the spaces for the tattoos. What are we mutinying? What are we mutinying at dawn? What's going on, Teeny? Oh, you're talking about all this pirate gold right here that I have that I'm not sharing? If you can find me. Then maybe you can hire the agent. Anyway, thank you for the question, Puffy Cheeto. It was a very good question. A very intellectual thinking question. Well, not so much this one as the next one. But before we get into the next question, do you guys want surprise number 3? Now, I thought long and hard about this. I'm giving you guys surprise number 3. But there will be no quizzing on surprise number 3. But there will be responses in the Discord about surprise number 3. We're taking all the Sea-Blue gold. You can have all the Sea-Blue gold. That's fine. You can have it all. I won't even give up a fight. Good morning, Crimson Honda. Welcome in. You know what tattoo for an arcane trickster might be? Same as a rogue, but it's a magic and card. Let them draw a card or dagger out of the air. That's smart. Oh, class ideas. Tattoo wizard, no spellbook. Available spells are their tattoos. When they drain of color, no preparing spells, but stuck with what has been applied. So get a few more. Yes, that's what I would. Yeah, exactly. Well, wait, he's given us the Sea-Blue gold. It must be cursed. You never know with a rogue pirate archaeologist. Because technically, everything is cursed. I'm watching back at 2XP. Well, then I will let you wait to get caught up to give you guys surprise 3. So with that, we're going to question 2. And question 2 also comes from Puffy Cheetah. Is it Puffy Cheetah? It should have been Puffy Cheeto. Skinned Wizard for spells. Aquatic Messiah, welcome in. Now, Puffy Cheeto asks, I've read the traditional take on the Trojan horse. But I've also read that the horse was not stuffed with men, was not made of wood, was really just symbolic and not really even a horse that they let in. What is my take on the Trojan horse story? Well, my take is this. Knowing history, knowing archaeology, the Trojan horse is almost certainly not a literal giant wooden horse full of soldiers. However, there was a giant bunny, a giant wooden bunny. And when that was destroyed, the party decided they were going to try and build a giant wooden badger. And then they just ran away. Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. That's the plot for Holy Grail. Anyway, you got off subject. The ancient myth for the Trojan horse is layered over something real. But what that something was is still debated. Modern historians see the horse as a symbol, a metaphor, or a mistranslation. Not a physical siege engine that rolled into Troy. The Trojan horse is a symbol, not an object. It's a symbol of deception, betrayal, and the illusion of gifts. It strongly suggests that the horse was never meant to be taken literally. The horse is a metaphor for siege warfare. Some historians argued that the horse was a metaphor for the siege engine, a battering ram, or mobile tower, later misunderstood or poeticized into an actual horse. And that's where we get the stuff from the Iliad. Homer's Iliad never describes a wooden horse. The episode appears only briefly in the Odyssey and is fully dramatized later, notably in Virgil's Aeneid, which suggests the famous wooden horse image is a later embellishment of an older tradition. Holy Grail is canon for historians, or else I'm very disappointed in historians. Look, Holy Grail is canon. Last Crusade is canon. Lost Ark is canon. It's all canon. To include The Mummy. Hollywood would never lie to us. Absolutely not. Are you saying the movie Troy is wrong and Hollywood lied to us? No, not entirely. There was Achilles. He did get shot in the ankle. He did die. But before he got shot in the ankle, he was touched by gods. Now he was a real person, and he was a great fighter. He was kind of like, and I'm surprised we don't even have him. We don't even have him on our action hero list, but we do have Maximus Decimus Meridius, who was an actual gladiator. So, yeah. Princess Bride is absolutely canon. I will die on that hill. Yes, I agree. Achilles killed Eric Bana. No. Brad Pitt killed Eric Bana. The Greeks and Trojans weren't completely gullible. Couldn't the horse have symbolized a ploy of them offering peace when they really didn't mean it? Well, actually, yes, but no. Archaeology shows that Troy was destroyed and burned in layers consistent with violent conflict or natural disaster. There is no physical evidence for a giant wooden construct being brought inside the walls. Even if it was burned to the ground, there still would have been some sort of evidence, charcoal evidence left over to show that something was there. And there's just not. Bottom line, though, dramatic wooden horse is a literary development, not an archaeological fact. The leading alternative explanations of what the horse might actually mean. We already went through the siege engine metaphor. Ship or naval ruse. Some linguists note that words for ships and horses overlap in metaphor. For example, horses of the sea. So the gift might have been a ship left behind or a naval trick, not a carved animal. The earthquake and divine agency theory. Because Poseidon is associated with horses and earthquakes, some readings treat the horse as symbolic of a god's destructive force, an earthquake that breached the defenses, or a ritual or symbolic offering. The horse could be a ceremonial object or symbol whose acceptance signaled surrender, or a ritual that opened the gates to enemies hidden elsewhere. Each theory fits different pieces of the literary and archaeological record, but none is proven beyond doubt. Ship idea is good too, yes. Not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. Well, you know what, Jim? I have a theory on aliens, and I'm an archaeologist. Right? And here's my theory. Aliens live among us. And I'm not talking aliens like the gray-green guys that come down from outer space and are walking around in human skin. No. 98% of all creatures on Earth share about 98% DNA. except for one specific classification of creature. They share 0% DNA with every other creature on Earth. Whereas every other creature shares some sort of amount of percentage of DNA with everybody else. The creature that shares 0% DNA is intelligent, has prehensile arms and legs. Did I cut out? No. I just lost the monitor for there. But the creature is smart, intelligent, has prehensile legs, and can survive in the water and out of the water. Not jellyfish, Aquatic Messiah, but you're close. You're close. You don't know Swahili? Anyway, it's a cephalopod. Squids and octopuses or octopi. They are, I believe that they are alien creatures. No, not lobster. Lobster is sea roach. That was a great movie. That was a great movie. Okay. Cephalopods are related to sea life. You silly Chris. Even sea life shares DNA with the most of the creatures on land. The only one that doesn't are cephalopods and probably cnidarians. And they sound like Nathan Fillion if you watch Resident Evil. Is it they sound like Nathan Fillion? Or do they sound like Alan Tudyk? Because that's who plays the alien in Resident Alien. It's Alan Tudyk. I like very tasty sea roaches also. But, Puffy Cheeto, that was a great question on the Trojan horse story. And we're going to move on to surprise 3. Probably cat level intelligence. I don't know. They've been known to pick Super Bowl winners. Though dogs and cats have also been known to pick Super Bowl winners, so who knows? Whatever the slowest sea life thing is out there, that's what I'm. You're not related to the sea cucumber. Trojan horse to cephalopods. Interesting. Oh, it's going to get even more interesting, Aquatic Messiah. Because the surprise I have for you guys is nothing you guys can see. And it's only because it's written. But you guys would just have to sit there and listen. Because the surprise I am giving you guys, I so far have written 15 chapters of my novel. And it's 30 chapters long. I have outlined it to be 30 chapters long. I am halfway done. So what I'm going to give to you tonight is the prologue. Return to the Admiral Benbow Inn. That's the title of the prologue. That's not the title of the book. I have no idea what the title of the book is yet. So, return to the Admiral Benbow Inn. Mist rolled across the moors, a cold, slow tide drowning the heather and gray. Salt wind clawed at the Admiral Benbow's sign. 2 crossed bones, a smiling cask. The paint faded by 100 winters to a ghostly suggestion. The sign groaned on its chains. a rhythmic protest against the gale. Shutters rattled in their frames like chattering teeth. Rain, cold and persistent, streaked the small, diamond-paned windows, distorting the firelight within into wavering orange tears. I stood on the coast road, my boots sinking into the mud, and looked at the inn. Hedgerows, heavy and dark, sagged with the last weathered apples of autumn. From the cottage chimneys by the nearby village, plumes of wood smoke rose straight for a moment before being torn apart by the wind. Somewhere in the distance, the grinding of cartwheels on wet earth was a muffled, mournful sound. This place had been the cradle of my boyhood, the stage for my first great adventure. Now it felt older, smaller. Its stone walls seemed to brace themselves not just against the storm outside, but against the storms I had brought home with me. The ghost that now clung to my coat like sea spray. I pushed through the heavy oak door. It groaned on its hinges, a sound of deep, horrific complaint. Inside, the air hung thick with memory. It was a scent I knew, a cocktail of damp wool, rum-soaked wood, and the lingering perfume of the sea. But tonight it was thicker, layered with the ghosts of my own making. I could smell them. Billy Bones's rasping, whiskey-soaked breath, the relentless, infuriating tap, tap, tap of Blind Pew's cane, the dry, sinister rustle of pirate silk in the dark corners of the taproom. The hearth crackled, a cheerful, lie-spitting beast, its light dancing on the low, dark beams of the ceiling. Beside it, in a high-backed chair that seemed to swallow him whole, sat a man I had never seen before. He was 60, perhaps older, though the sea has a way of aging a man beyond his years. A heavy sea cloak, patched with salt, stiff, was draped over his shoulders. He didn't move. He didn't speak. He just watched me enter. His face a mask of shadow and flickering firelight. Then my mother saw me. The tea tray she was carrying clattered to the floor. China exploded on the flagstones. "Jim!" She crossed the room in 3 strides, her apron fluttering like a wounded bird, and threw her arms around me. Her hands, rough from a lifetime of work, shook where they clutched the collar of my coat. She searched my face as if I were a mirage, as if I might vanish like sea foam on the shore. You're home," her voice broke, the words catching in her throat like a fishbone. "By St. Peter, I feared the sea had claimed you." I caught her hands in mine. They were cold. I steadied them. I thought the same when the wave broke over the quarterdeck. A flash of memory, white foam boiling across the deck, the splintered crack of the mast, Black Dog's blade of silver of moonlight at my throat. But fortune steered me true. She pulled back, her eyes wide and wet. She looked over me, from my mud-caked boots to my scuffed sleeves, to my hands, calloused and scarred from rope and sail and cutlass. "You're not hurt? No wounds?" "None that matter." The lie was easy. The wounds that mattered were not on my skin. "The storm, the crew, Captain Smollett." "All safe, Mother. All accounted for." I reached into the inner pocket of my jacket and produced a small, heavy leather purse. I held it out to her. She took it with trembling fingers, fumbled with the drawstring, opened it. A single gold coin gleamed in the firelight, a captured sun. Her breath caught in a sharp, audible gasp. "You did this?" she whispered, her voice full of a terrible awe. "Yourself?" "Squire Trelawney saw to it. My share of the spoil." She pressed the coin between her thumb and her forefinger, testing its weight, its reality, as if she could not believe it was not a dream. Then she looked past me, her gaze finding the stranger by the hearth. The warmth in her eyes vanished, replaced by a flicker of fear. Jim, her voice dropped to a conspiratorial whisper. He's been here 3 nights, waiting for you. I turned. The stranger rose from his chair. The movement was slow, deliberate. He was tall and lean, and his coat hung on him in patches that had been stitched together with thick, tarred thread, like old sailcloth. His face was a roadmap of every gale he'd ever weathered. His skin the color of tanned leather. His hands, resting on the arms of the chair, were rimmed with salt lines. The nails cracked and yellowed. He had the straight shoulders and measured movements of an English gentleman, but his voice, when he finally spoke, carried the warm, honeydew drawl of Savannah. Master Hawkins. He inclined his head, a gesture of old-world grace. Your mother's hospitality has been most gracious. Mother cleared her throat, her professional mask slipping into its place. Sir, may I offer you rum? It'll warm your bones. Your kindness does you credit, ma'am. I fetched the bottle from behind the bar and poured a measure into a clean glass. The stranger took it, but didn't drink immediately. He just held it, watching the firelight play through the amber liquid, turning it to liquid gold. You've questions for me, I asked, taking the opposite chair at him. And I for you, I suspect. He gestured to the empty chair. Sit, Master Hawkins. Your mother's told me something of your adventure, but I'd hear it from your own lips. It's a long tale. I have time, the stranger smiled, a faint, melancholy curve of his lips. And I've waited 3 days already. What's another hour? I sat. Mother hovered near the kitchen door, uncertain whether to stay or go. A mother caught between her son and a ghost. The stranger settled back into his chair, watching me over the rim of his glass. Master Hawkins, he began, his voice low and steady. I have no tale to spin, only a hunger for truth. And truth, I'm told, lies in your adventure. A chill ran through me that had nothing to do with the rain. Then you've come far for a boy's words. Perhaps, his lips curved again. But a boy who stood at the edge of mutiny and carried home a fortune is worth listening to. Tell me, how did this voyage of yours begin? I glanced at my mother. She gave a small, almost imperceptible nod. Outside the wind gust, rattling the glass in its lead. It began, I said, with an old sea captain who died in our taproom. He left a map that whispered of gold. Stranger sat down his mug. Sound was soft but final. That would be William Bones, Billy to his friends. The certainty in his voice stung me. You knew him? I knew of him. I continued, my voice flatter now. Before dawn, Black Dog came for the map. Then Blind Q. I fled to Bristol. Dr. Livesey and Squire Trelawney outfitted the Hispaniola. We hired Long John Silver, one wooden leg and a smile full of schemes. Whispers of mutiny followed us across the Atlantic. Israel Hands, Ben Gunn, and that cursed island. We reclaimed the chest. I paused, remembering the weight of it, the terrible satisfaction. Silver told me how he and Captain Flint found the treasure, how Flint and Billy Bones betrayed him, buried it on Skeleton Island. Stranger listened without interruption. His eyes never left my face. When I spoke of Silver, something changed in his expression. A tightening around the mouth. A flicker of something. Recognition? Hatred? Quickly suppressed. His hands tightened on his glass, the knuckles standing out like knots in an old rope. And Silver, the stranger said quietly. He spoke of Flint? Constantly, with fear and admiration both. Said Flint was the devil himself, that even dead his shadow fell across every man who sailed with him. Did he say how Flint died? Exiled to Savannah, drank himself to death, Silver claimed, said it was the only end fit for such a man. The stranger's jaw tightened. He took a long drink of rum as a bitter smile flickered across his lips. Dead? His voice was soft. Dangerous. No, Master Hawkins. He leaned forward, the firelight carving his face into a mask of sharp angles and deep shadows. Silver is a liar. Flint is not dead. His true story has never reached these shores. The words hung in the air between us, heavy and suffocating. You knew him? I asked, my voice barely whispered. Knew who, Silver? I knew of him. The stranger sat down his glass. And I knew Flint. The real Flint. Not the ghost stories sailors tell in taverns, but the man himself. His true history. He leaned closer still, the scent of salt and rum filling the space between us. If you would learn of Flint, his English birth, his rise through blood and cunning, his sins and his sorrows, I will tell you, on one condition. Mother stepped forward, her hands twisting in her apron. Sir, it's late. Jim's had a long journey. What condition? I asked, cutting her off. I would hear this, I said, my gaze locked in on the stranger's, if you'll tell it. You must write every word I say. His voice was intense, absolute, so that history records the truth instead of myth. I'm in his eyes, steady, unblinking. I'll do it. Triumph flickered in the old man's face, or perhaps relief. Then fetch your materials, Jim Hawkins, and see that your ink is dark. These are things best spoken and better remembered. And that is the prologue to my novel. I can't sing the prologue. Would like to sing the prologue. Kevin, it's not necessarily an audiobook. It probably will be turned into an audiobook, but it's going to be an actual novel first that you guys can actually have physical copies of. Dissecting them just before lunch in the lunchroom was fun when I was 8. Are you talking about octopuses? Oh, so coral. Yeah, Puffy Cheeto could be coral. I'm not going to sing. Wow, that was amazing. I just closed my eyes and let your story take me away to a new world. You have a way with capturing people with your words. Absolute standing applause. Thank you. Thank you for those kind words, Puffy Cheeto. Thank you for those kind words. You tell a compelling tale. Thank you. Now, here's a question. Just from the prologue, do you have any idea who the stranger could be? I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong. I just want to see if you guys have an idea. At first, you thought the young man would be the one telling the story, but then it became the old man and the stranger. So that's how I wrote. That's how I'm writing the novel. So the novel is a sequel to Treasure Island. It happens directly after the events of Treasure Island. But then it becomes Interview with a Vampire-esque, where it's the stranger telling the story of Flint and Flint's life and everything else through flashbacks to Jim. And during those flashbacks, there are interactions between the stranger and Jim, so it brings it back to the present and then shoots it right back to flashbacks. And then, yeah, it's Interview with a Vampire-esque. That's why it's got to be 30 pages or 30 chapters long. You would say it's through a Flint. Okay. Good old what's his face. Could be. And we will have the young man write his actual story. No idea yet. Someone who said with Flint is the old man. More than likely. So if he's got the truth about Flint, who else would that be except the real Flint? Could be Flint's lover, Marcus Harrow, because I do have a spicy section in here. So Marcus Harrow was a lieutenant in the Royal Navy. Could be any number of people. The stranger is Jean-Luc Picard from that one time travel. Who is Aquatic Messiah? I know you're not new, but that was on point because I like Jean-Luc Picard. Oh shit, that took us a half hour to read almost. Oh yeah, there's I got one spicy section in the first 8 chapters, and then no spicy sections for chapters 9 through 15 because there's just no way to integrate the spicy sections there. However, chapters 15 through probably 22 or so is going to be Captain Flint's interactions with Jack Rackham and Mary Read and Aunt Bonnie, and there's plenty of opportunities for spicy sections in there. I know you of many names. Aquatic Messiah is one of those octopi you were talking. Okay. Anyway, we are at an hour, everybody. That I was not expecting that. But that means we need to move. So we're going to move on to our deadly dungeon because that's what I know you guys are here for. You might see me as the retriever of gold. Aha. Okay. The retriever. Cool. Welcome in. Anyway, we're going to our daily dungeon. Or our deadly dungeon. And our deadly dungeon this week, per the wheel of heroic death, morality, whatever we're calling it, we have Sarah Connor versus William Wallace and John Rambo versus Flash Gordon. See, it's the blonde-haired, blue-eyed Flash Gordon from the 80s movie. You were really sad about the William Wallace one? It hurt you in the feels? I'm sorry. Yeah, mine definitely makes sense to the story. I don't do it just for gratification. So it has a plot. It has a plot line to it. Why were you sad about the William Wallace one, Puffy Cheeto? Actually, Fox, you are not so wrong. But unfortunately, what the algorithm picks that I use to do this doesn't necessarily match what the Discord fans vote for. And we always put our fans first. So it's whatever the fans voted for. And this week, our fans voted this way. Our fans voted for Sarah Connor, 71%, over William Wallace, 29%. The algorithm also chose Sarah Connor over William Wallace, but at a further distance, 78% versus 22%. And here's why. And you're absolutely right, Fox. It is because Sarah Connor has weapons. Let me get to it. Sarah Connor's standard loadout is AR-15, AR-14, or M4 type rifle or 12 gauge shotgun. She's got a 9mm pistol. She's got a combat knife, tactical vest with spare mags, modern clothing, boots, and tactical gear. No futuristic weapons unless explicitly stated. She uses contemporary firearms. She's highly trained in firearms, ambush tactics, and urban and rural guerrilla warfare. She has excellent accuracy under stress, super mobile conditioning and tactical discipline, experience fighting physically superior opponents, strong survival instincts, and improvisational skills. What she's weak in, she has very limited melee compatibility or capability. Ammunition is finite, and if forced into close quarters without a firearm advantage, she loses her primary edge. Spicy part is Luke, I am your father, mama. No. No. Because he doesn't move on, and neither does his kilt. Yes, but Mel Gibson moves on because Mel Gibson is also on the same on the list as Martin Riggs. So we still could get Martin. We still could get Mel Gibson. She took his freedom. If William Wallace gets close, he wins. Though, also LOL Puppeteer. Yes, and that's the historic composite. William Wallace is represented as a battlefield commander and warrior in the late 13th century. He's got a claymore greatsword, a dirk, a targe, leather chain hybrid armor, no horse. He's on foot for fairness. He's exceptionally strong and has great reach with the claymore. He's got brutal melee power. One clean hit ends the fight. Battlefield experience against armored knights and infantry. He's got a high pain tolerance and ferocity. Armor provides him little protection against glancing firearm hits. He's got no ranged weapons. He's got no defense against modern firearms. His heavy armor slows him compared to Sarah, and the claymore requires space to swing, vulnerable in tight quarters. So Sarah's strategy obviously is to maintain distance at all costs. Use a rifle fire to disable or kill before Wallace closes in. And if Wallace gets within 10 to 15 feet, transition to shotgun or pistol. Avoid melee entirely. And use cover, elevation, and movement to force Wallace into kill zones. Wallace's strategy is to close the distance rapidly, using zigzag or shield forward approach. Use the targe to deflect initial shots, possible but unreliable. Once within striking range, overwhelm with claymore power. Force Sarah into confined spaces where firearms are harder to aim. Rely on armor to survive glancing hits long enough to get close. The 100 battle simulations, Sarah Connor wins 78% of the time. Her superior range weapons, tactical discipline, and ability to eliminate Wallace before melee. And the 22 times that William Wallace wins, he wins when he closes the distance, corners Sarah, or forces melee into tight spaces. So yes, Sarah Connor wins because of firearms. And everybody would win against a 13th century warrior, no matter who you are, with firearms. Wallace gets close, he wins. Yes, Wallace could just strip and probably would, but he'd have to sneak attack to win still. And Sarah Connor is paranoid. Sarah Connor is paranoid, yes. On to John Rambo versus Flash Gordon. And here is where you are wrong, Fox. Because the Discord people want Flash Gordon to win. I don't know why. They overwhelmingly chose him 86% of the time. I think John Rambo got one vote. Let's see. Because I think I voted for John Rambo. Before even the votes were finished. Yeah, one vote. Me. John Rambo. So, I'm the 14%. And the algorithm chose John Rambo 67% of the time and Flash Gordon 33% of the time. Let's see why. John's weapons and gear. He's got a compound bow with explosive and broadhead arrows. He's got an M60 machine gun, belt fed. He's got a survival knife, claymore mines, camouflage gear, traps, and fieldcraft tools, light body armor or tack vest depending on the mission. He's an elite Green Beret with unmatched guerrilla warfare skills. He's a master of ambush, stealth, and terrain manipulation. Exceptional accuracy with bow and firearms. High pain tolerance and survival instincts. Kind of sounds like William Wallace right there, doesn't it? And can create traps, snares, and improvised explosives on the fly. I don't know if he has the ability to create improvised explosives without the materials, but his weakness is he's human durability. He's got no superhuman traits. Limited ammo. Vulnerable if caught in open terrain against a faster opponent. And no defense against energy-based weapons. Which, to me, is why I think the algorithm should have chose Flash Gordon. But this is what you guys wanted. Flash Gordon, the 1980s film version. Ming's laser pistol, which is the standard energy sidearm. Occasional access to Mongo tech. Jet cycles, energy shields, but for fairness, only the laser pistol and his personal gear were used. He's got football-style agility and improvised melee weapons, and light Mongo armor clothing. His strengths, he's peak human athleticism, speed, agility, strength. His laser pistol gives him ranged lethality with no ballistic drop. He's a quick improviser, uses environment creatively. High moral and his heroic resilience. His faster reaction time is faster than most humans. Weaknesses. He's not a trained soldier. His laser pistol has a limited rate of fire. He's got no stealth capability. He's got no armor capable of stopping bullets or explosive arrows. And he relies heavily on mobility and luck. We all know Rambo's strategy. He uses stealth and terrain to disappear. He sets traps and funnel flash into kill zones. He opens with explosive arrows or M60 burst. If flash closes distance, switch to knife or bow at short range. And deny flash clean line of sight to prevent laser pistol advantage. Flash Gordon's strategy is to stay mobile and unpredictable. Use the laser pistol to outrange Rambo's ballistic weapons. Close the distance quickly to disrupt Rambo's ambush setups. Use athleticism to dodge traps and flank. Rely on speed to avoid explosive arrows. And this is why John Rambo wins 67% out of the 33 or out of the 100 simulated runs. He's got superior stealth, traps, explosive arrows, and battlefield discipline. Flash Gordon's all got his laser pistol, which kills at range, superior mobility, and wins in open terrain. Without anything for John Rambo to conceal himself with, he loses. But Flash Gordon moves forward because you guys voted for him. And Sarah Connor moves forward because you guys voted for her. So our bracket looks like this. Yeah, it's a large bracket, but we've got 2 filled in already. Got 2 filled in. Discord's right, though. Flash would win. And yes, I know he's an idiot, but his tech would still win. Yeah, true. Because Flash brings Queen's background music along. Can't turn that down. Nope. You're absolutely right. John Rambo is like Sarah Connor and William Wallace and more, but Queen still wins. Like Kurt says. Yes. Now, here's where the interactive part of tonight's program comes into play. We get to spin again for our next 4 battles. Well, not our next 4, but our next 2 battles, our next 4 contestants. So, with that being said, Wheel of Morality, turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn. Who is going to be battling next? Please be. It's our next battle is Kyle Reese versus the man with no name. Now, for those of you who don't know, the man with no name comes from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's Clint Eastwood's character from The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. So he's got pistols, but it's like early 1800s, late 1900s. No, not late 1900s. Late 1700s, early 18 to mid 1800s pistols. And then Kyle Reese is Sarah Connor's future boyfriend, husband. Yeah. I look, you guys saw it. It was random. I didn't do it. So, does the horse also have no name? The man with no name doesn't have a horse. There's also a man has no name in GOT. No, this is specifically Clint Eastwood's character, Puffy Cheeto. But thank you for that. Only when going through the desert. And only sung about by America. Kirk. So, with that being said, Kyle Reese versus the man with no name is battle 1. Yes. The future husband, son, grandpa, not son. The future husband, grandpa, not grandpa of Sarah. He's no relation to Sarah. He's just he's the future husband of Sarah and future father of the boy Connor Reese. So, yeah. Or not Connor Reese, whatever his name is, the kid. Anyway, John Connor. Yes, John Connor. Thank you, Kirk. Anyway, with that being said, yeah, no, his whole backstory is messy. He's actually here's what it is. He's the best friend. He's the future best friend of John Connor, who John Connor sent back to protect his mother, who then impregnates his mother to have John. So he's his father best friend in the future. That's why we can't have time travel. Yes. That's when you get songs like I'm My Own Grandpa. Anyway, let's remove these two from the wheel. And they go in our results section over here. So I have them for the Discord poll, which I will put up immediately following the podcast. And roll that beautiful bean footage. Wheel of Morality, turn. What's the second lesson that we should learn? Who will be battling each other next? Can we just say this is a win for everybody? Jack Burton, who I'm assuming Kirk wanted. I think Kirk wanted from, what is it? Big Trouble Little China? Or is it Tu Wong Fu? I don't know. I don't know who Jack Burton is. But I do know who Snake Plissken is. This is Escape from New York or Escape from LA, Snake Plissken, which is fine, but it's still the same actor. It's still Kurt Russell. So whoever wins, whichever person, Jack Burton or Snake Plissken wins, it's still Kurt Russell. Big Trouble in Little China. I have not seen Big Trouble. I should see Big Trouble. But I like Snake Plissken for this one. But can I get an agreement that whichever wins, we all win because it's still Kurt Russell? And without Kurt Russell and without Goldie Hawn, we would not have... Oh, what's her name? What's her name? I know you know Puffy Cheeto. What's her name? Snake Plissken doesn't have access to the Stargate. Kurt versus Kurt. 2 Kurts enter, 1 Kurt leaves. Now, Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn have oh, that's gonna bug me. Her name is on the tip of my tongue. Kate Hudson. Without Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, we would not have Kate Hudson. You guys didn't know that, did you? Yep. That's Hollywood nepotism. I feel like he should all of Kurt Russell's exist in the same universe. I don't think so. I don't think they'll have access to the Stargate. Because that's a Richard Dean Anderson thing now. Since most people attribute Richard Dean Anderson as being Colonel Jack O'Neill and not Kurt Russell, even though Kurt Russell started the whole thing in the movie. Kate Hudson is a time traveler who slept with Kurt Russell to create. Wow. I thought you were going to say something like Kate Hudson and Goldie Hawn and something with Meg Ryan and everything. But time travel hurts your brain. Well, there are other things that hurt your brain too, but with that being said, that is our next match. We will remove them from the Wheel of Morality, and I will put them in the Discord. Who's Richard Dean Anderson? I thought MacGyver was in SG-1. That's Richard Dean Anderson. Yes, Kevin, and I know you're being silly. I know you know that. You know why I know you know that? Because this is Rogue Bard Advice. We are a D&D, TTRPG, everything nerd podcast. Coming to you every night, well, not every night, every Friday night at 10 p.m. Central. No, I'm sorry, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Kratos is MacGyver's best alien friend in SG-1. Yes. Kratos is Teal'c. Or Christopher Judd. Guess what? He's a member of the Council of Chris. Kate is Rock Hudson's. Rock was a lousy husband and father. Kurt stepped in. Well, yes. I applaud you for correcting us, Ron. Kurt did step in. Yes. That's why we love him. Yes. Because honestly, do you think Rock would have let Kate go into the movie industry? Odorous, welcome in. You're not late. You're a wizard. You're here exactly when you mean to be. And you're meant to be here at the close of the show. We're just getting through. Just going through some of these comments before we close up the shop tonight. Yeah, Hollywood, Ron. Hollywood is full of lousy fathers. We're all wizards, Harry. Thus, we'll all have an excuse for being late. Save the best for last. Exactly, Kevin. And with that, I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. Thank you for listening to the prologue of the so far untitled novel that I am writing. We will be back next Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Same Rogue time, same Rogue channel. Please send in your questions early so that I have a chance to go through the questions and get you guys the answers that you guys deserve. Not just the answers you guys want, but the answers you guys deserve. Please send your questions to roguebardadvice@gmail.com. That's roguebardadvice@gmail.com. With that, I want to wish everyone a great, happy weekend. And don't forget, tune in tomorrow. If we're live over on Twitch at Military Fox, MILITARYPHAUXX, at 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern, for a live session 0 of our new D&D campaign that we will be doing. Have a great weekend. Yes, don't send them 5 minutes before the stream. Please, also, comment on the prologue within the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, please do. If not, wait till next week and you'll get a new code for the Discord. With that being said, I am your host, the Pirate Archaeologist, the Rogue Pirate Archaeologist, the Rogue Thief Pirate Archaeologist, Chris, or Captain Bartholomew Bones McCoy. This has been Rogue and Bard Advice, and as always, take what you will, give nothing back, and follow the code. The code says, he who gets behind gets left behind. With that, I tell you, see you next week.